Hi, it's a beautiful sunny day out there where I am. We've had so much rain lately, it's just really nice to see the sun, and I've just been out walking in my garden and it looks like we're getting an early spring. A lot of flowers are starting to bloom. It's beautiful out there. But that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to say thank you, a huge thank you, to the 5,000 people that have generously subscribed to the channel. I've got to say, I'm completely overwhelmed by this. It was only back in April that I made a video thanking the first 100 subscribers, and then in May, I found myself thanking the first 1,000 subscribers. And now here it is July, and I'm saying thank you to you, 5,000 of you. I absolutely can't believe it, and I'm really humbled by it, to be honest. I can't believe that there's so many people that just are interested in watching some old guy in his workshop describing perfumes, but hey, here we are, right? Anyhow, I wanted to thank you not just for subscribing, but also for your contributions to the channel. All the wonderful comments and ideas, suggestions and corrections when I get things wrong. All of those contributions basically create a real community here of knowledge sharing. It's so much more now than just a one-way channel of communication. And I've got to tell you that I think that I've learned as much or more than anybody through running this channel. I'm not the expert by any means on perfumes, and I've learned a lot just from listening to other people talk about what they wear and what they know. And I really am thankful for that. So the question is, I guess, where do we go from here? And you'll probably be aware I put a survey up recently, and thank you to the 174 people that have responded to that survey already. And there's some clear numbers starting to come through. I'm going to put an image up to show you where it's at as of today. But it's quite clear a few things here. The first thing I want to say is apologies that I didn't put up an option D, all of the above. A few people said to me, oh, but I like everything. So, I should have had an option D in there. But nevertheless, this does help me to understand where people's preferences are. And to the people that say, I like everything, fear not, because I'm not going to drop any of the content off the channel, but this will help to inform my choices about where I focus and what I make more of and less of, perhaps. But I will make all of these styles of videos going forward. So looking at the numbers, the first one was general reviews, and that came in at 14%, so that was the lowest. And look, I totally understand that, and I'm not put off by it at all, because to be honest with you, it's such a well catered for niche out there in YouTube, and there are so many content creators that are reviewing perfumes every day, and really I think some of them are going to do a much better job than me, just for no other reason but the fact that they have a huge collection of perfumes as a data set that they can make comparisons to. I'm not a collector of perfumes, so I don't have this huge collection. I don't have endless racks of perfume bottles, and to be honest with you, I'm really glad I don't, because I think if I did, I'd get up in the morning and my eyes would glaze over. I wouldn't know what to wear. I really think some of those people probably have perfumes at the back of the shelf that they've forgotten they even own. I'm not knocking people for collecting. I think everybody collects something. For me, my penchant is for collecting old hand tools in my workshop. So I appreciate what it's like to be a collector, but I'm not a collector of perfumes, and therefore I don't have that enormous data set and knowledge of perfumes that I can compare to. But I will still make those. I'm still curious about new perfumes that come out, and I like to sample them. And when I sample something that I think is interesting, I'll definitely put a video up about that. So then we come to the second one, and this is the materials videos. This one obviously is the most popular, and that didn't surprise me. It's coming at 55% at this stage. It doesn't surprise me because right from the very first video I put up of that type, it got a really big response, like bigger than anything else. I think the first one I put up was the one on smoke molecules, and then I think I did ambergris after that, I think. But as soon as I put up that first one, I got a lot more comments and feedback, and people were just saying things like, oh, this is great. It's great to have someone just describe what these notes smell like in real life. And that is definitely my goal with the materials one. So I want to create videos where I describe, not in the flowery language of a perfumer, but just everyday language, about what a fragrance note actually smells like. So I might say it smells like a leather boot, or it smells like tree bark, or it smells like fruit cake, it smells like rain on a clay pan. But I will use common descriptors that I think people can really relate to. It seems to be working. People seem to really like that. There are so many materials I could cover out there. I mean, there's thousands of raw materials that perfumers have access to these days. I wouldn't have enough days left on this planet to cover all of them. So that's not what I'm going to do. But what I'll do is I'll focus in on the ones that I think are the main sort of backbone workhorse materials that perfumers use a lot when they're creating perfumes. So you can look forward to many of those coming through. And there was a lady who said to me, or asked me, if I could perhaps do cover a few more materials that are commonly used in feminine leaning perfumes. So I will be doing that. You can look forward in the coming weeks and months to some more floral ones like, rose and jasmine and neroli and things like that. So I look forward to those coming through. Now, the last category, it was the one about in the lab, and this one, I think it got 30%. At this stage. That one is interesting. So I recently made that video using ChatGPT to clone a perfume, and that one's just gone completely viral. But that one's of less interest to me than one that I put up 3 months ago. So 3 months ago, I made one on how to set up your own DIY lab at home. And it had a really slow start, but recently it started to really pick up a lot of traffic. I think it's about 2,100 views at this stage, but I'm getting a lot of comments from people saying this is really helpful. I'd love to get into this hobby, and they've asked me to do various other things. And one of them is, could you suggest a starter kit of materials for me to start out with? And I really, really want to make that video, and I will make it soon, because that was a problem for me when I started out. I just didn't know what to buy, and that's a dangerous situation. I got onto the FreighterWorks website and I was like a child in a sweet shop. I'm looking at all these beautiful materials. I'm going, oh, look at that. Fossilized yak's urine. That'd be interesting in a perfume. And then I'd buy it and I'd get it home and I'd go, it smells like piss. What am I going to do with this? So to help people avoid that trap, I'm going to suggest a simple starter kit, probably with, I think, maybe 30 raw materials. And I will choose materials that I think will get you the most traction when you're starting out, give you the option to blend all sorts of common accords that are used in perfumery. I'll follow that up with then some other videos on the approach to take when you are blending accords. So how to make a rose accord, or how to make a honey accord, or how to make an amber accord, those sorts of videos. So you can look forward to more work in the lab, and I'll probably create a new playlist called In the Lab for those, but for the time being, you'll find those going into the Masters and Materials playlist. So that's pretty much it. That's the direction I'm going to take the channel in going forward. If you think that I've left something out here that you would like me to be doing, feel free to suggest it, won't you? I don't guarantee that I'll pick up the suggestion, but I'm very open to hearing people's ideas on what they would like to see on the channel. So by all means, let me know that. And the last thing that I wanted to say or cover off is a little bit about my attitude to cloning and AI. So the recent video I made with using ChatGPT to create a clone of Nazimato's Black Afghano, I think that people thought that I was probably trying to create or optimize an AI model for creating clones. I've had a number of people reach out to me since then saying, oh, could you help me create a clone for this perfume or that perfume? And I just wanted to put on the record my views on cloning. I'm not a big supporter of cloning. The only exception would be where there's a perfume that has been discontinued, but there's still a lot of demand for it. In those circumstances, I think perhaps it is legitimate to create a clone. But other than that, I'm not a supporter of cloning. I feel like it's not creative and it doesn't move perfumery forward in any way. If everybody just copies everybody else, we don't move forward with perfumery. And I also feel like it's kind of stealing somebody's ideas and their creativity. And as a creator myself, I'm not really supportive of that. So no, the answer is I don't want to help anybody create clones. Just putting that out there. The other thing is that with that AI video, I had a lot of people come back and say, oh, well, if you'd used a higher level of reasoning, or if you'd used Claude instead of ChatGPT, or you had trained it better with a better data set, you would have got a much better result. And all of those things are probably true, but I have no interest in developing or perfecting an AI model for making perfumes. It's just not what I want to do. I got into this as a hobby and an interest. And the last thing I want to do is hand over control to a machine or an AI LLM to do all the blending for me. I mean, I'm standing here in my woodworking shop right now. If I could buy a robot that would cut all the joinery and make pieces of furniture for me, that would be the last thing I'd want to invest in, because, hey, what am I going to do? I'm going to stand here and watch. Like, I want to be the person that's the centre of the creative process. I don't want to hand that over to someone else. My motivation here is not commercial. If I was Louis Vuitton or Dior or someone and I was running a commercial enterprise, then yeah, that might be great. But I'm not. I'm an enthusiast and a hobbyist, and I want to stay the centre of everything I do here. So I'm not saying AI has no purpose. It definitely, I found in that video that it was very useful at cataloguing materials and creating spreadsheets and keeping me across legislation and rules and labelling and all of that sort of stuff. So it does have a purpose, and I will use it for that. But for me, I don't want it anywhere near the creative process of blending a perfume. So that's where I stand on that. I don't mind if you want to use it. That's up to you. That's fine. And I make no judgment. But I'm just saying this is where I stand. So I think that's enough for a thank you video, isn't it? And if you've stayed this long, I want to say thank you for sticking out to the end of the thank you video. It's time to say cheerio. And until the next episode, please take care, stay safe, and remember, enjoy your fragrance, whatever you're wearing.
Oh, my muse, you're heavy debt. A ghost I haven't quite finished yet. Lead me down where the briars grow, to the hidden root that the crows all know.